The leaves rustled gently across the pavement as a cold breeze swept through Central Park. Daniel, a quiet, solitary man in his 50s, sat on a weathered bench tossing breadcrumbs to the birds. He came here often, his small ritual of silence and solace after losing his family years ago. Today felt no different, until he noticed her. A little girl, no older than 7, sat 3 benches away in a worn-out pink coat, her legs swinging above the ground. She watched him with quiet curiosity. After a long pause, she rose and walked over, her hands clutched tightly around something. She stood before him, eyes wide, uncertain but determined. "Are you kind, mister?" she asked. Daniel blinked, surprised by the sudden question. He nodded slowly, unsure what to say. The girl glanced down, then held up a photograph, a smiling woman and a little girl, both arms wrapped around a man who clearly wasn't Daniel. "That's my mommy," she whispered. "My daddy's gone. She cries every night when she thinks I'm asleep." Daniel opened his mouth to respond, but before he could, she looked him in the eyes and said softly, "Please, will you marry my mom? She's all I've got left." The word struck him like a wave, raw, unfiltered, innocent. It wasn't a plea rooted in pity. It was hope. Honest and pure. Daniel sat still, heart caught in his throat, as the chill in the air was replaced by something far warmer, an ache he hadn't felt in years. The cafe smelled of cinnamon and coffee, its warmth a sharp contrast to the crisp air outside. Daniel sat across from the little girl, her small hands wrapped tightly around a steaming cup of hot chocolate. She blew on it carefully before taking a sip, her eyes peeking up at him through messy bangs. He offered a soft smile. "What's your name?" "Lily," she said. "You look nice. You're always kind to birds. And the squirrels." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "You've seen me before?" She nodded. "Lots of times. Mommy says not to talk to strangers, but you never looked scary. Just lonely." The words hung in the air. He nodded slowly. "Tell me about your mom." Lily's voice quieted. "Her name's Grace. She works 2 jobs, at a diner and cleaning offices. Since Daddy's accident, she hasn't smiled much. She's tired all the time. But she's good. So good." Daniel swallowed. "Your dad, he passed away." She nodded, her fingers tracing the edge of her cup. "He fell from a building. He was trying to save someone else when the scaffolding gave way. Mommy cried for weeks. Now she just doesn't." A silence settled. Then Lily looked up, hopeful. "You seem like someone who'd love her the way he did." Daniel turned to the window. In the foggy glass, he caught his reflection, older, worn, alone. But tonight, through Lily's eyes, he didn't look invisible. For the first time in years, he felt like someone who might matter again. The hallway smelled faintly of old paint and distant cooking. Daniel followed Lily up the creaky steps to the 3rd floor, unsure what he was about to walk into. She stopped in front of a chipped blue door and knocked eagerly. When the door opened, a woman in her early 30s stood frozen. Her eyes darted from Lily to the stranger beside her. "Lily?" she asked, panicked, pulling the girl into her arms. "Where have you been? Who is this?" Before Daniel could speak, Lily blurted out, "Mom. This is him. The man from the park. I asked him to marry you." Grace stiffened. Her eyes widened in disbelief, then settled on Daniel with a mix of fear and confusion. "I'm so sorry," Daniel said quickly, holding up his hands. "She came to me. I didn't know what to do but make sure she got home safe." Grace let out a nervous laugh, half exhausted, half stunned. "She always dreams big," she murmured, eyes glassy. There was a beat of silence. Then Daniel gently added, "I'm not here for anything you didn't ask for. But, if you ever need help. Groceries, fixing a leaky faucet, just someone to talk to, I'm nearby. Grace blinked, the kindness catching her off guard. After a long pause, she stepped aside. Would you like to stay for dinner? They sat around a small table, eating spaghetti with too much garlic and not enough sauce. And for the first time in months, Grace laughed, a real, unguarded laugh. Weeks passed like the turning of gentle pages. What began as awkward dinners turned into warm rituals: Tuesday night spaghetti, Sunday walks through the park, movie nights with popcorn and blankets that smelled faintly of home. Daniel came by often, never imposing, always offering. He fixed the leaky sink that had dripped for months. He brought over light bulbs, helped Lily with her math homework, and patiently sorted through Grace's mounting paperwork with her after Lily had gone to bed. In those quiet evenings, Grace slowly began to open up. One night, she showed him her old sketchbook. Portraits in charcoal and paint, half-finished dreams she hadn't touched since her husband died. I used to think I'd be an artist, she said softly. But life got heavy. Daniel listened without judgment, his eyes kind. And when she finally asked about his past, he shared it, not all at once, but gently, in pieces. His wife. His son. A car crash on a rainy night. Years of silence and shadows. They didn't promise each other anything. But they shared the weight neither could carry alone. One evening, as they strolled through the park, Lily skipped ahead and twirled beneath a canopy of golden leaves. She turned back toward them, beaming. You know, she said, maybe you're what we needed too. Grace looked at Daniel, her hand brushing his by accident, but neither pulled away. And in that small, silent moment, a different kind of love began to grow, one rooted in healing, not rescue. The park had bloomed into soft pastels. Cherry blossoms fluttered in the breeze, and sunlight filtered through fresh green leaves. Laughter echoed across the path as Lily dashed ahead, arms spread wide like a bird in flight. Grace and Daniel followed slowly, side by side, their steps unhurried, easy now. Grace glanced at him, a smile tugging at her lips. You know, she said, her voice barely above a whisper, she still talks about you marrying me. Like it's her mission in life. Daniel chuckled, his eyes warm. Well, maybe it's not that silly. He paused at the bench where it all began, then reached into his coat pocket. I don't have a ring, he said gently, but I have this. He opened a small sketchbook, Lily's drawing. Crayon lines and crooked smiles, but unmistakable, the three of them, hand in hand beneath a sunny sky. Grace's breath caught. Tears welled in her eyes, but they weren't heavy this time, they shimmered. Daniel looked at her, steady and sincere. What if we don't rush anything? No big promises. Just start as a family. And let love find its way. Grace nodded, her heart full. That sounds perfect. From the playground ahead, Lily cupped her hands around her mouth and yelled, Did he ask yet? They both burst into laughter. And as the sun dipped low, the world carried on, messy, uncertain, and beautiful. But in this little corner of it, something rare and real had quietly begun. Something worth choosing, every single day.